How to play the D major chord. Like other major chords, D major is more commonly known by its note name, in this case D. So when you see a D in your music score or in your tablature, it's referring to a D major. To play a D major chord, place the first finger on the second fret of the G string, play the second finger on the second fret of the E string, and then place the third finger on the third fret of the B string, and then strum. Let's do that again and see it on the guitar. First, place the first finger on the second fret of the G string. Next, place the second finger on the second fret of the E string. Finally, place the third finger on the third fret of the B string, and then strum. You'll notice on the D major chord map that the two bottom strings have X's on the end. This means you don't play either of these strings, so you're only strumming 4 strings in effect. You strum from the D string. Now let's see that done. If when you strum your D chord it doesn't sound right, it might be due to a number of possibilities. The first one is that your guitar's out of tune. Check the tuning of the guitar, because it's really important that it's in tune. Another possibility is that you're overlapping frets, so readjust your fingers and make sure they're in the correct frets and properly fingered. If you can't get the fingers to sit right and sit comfortably, try readjusting the position of the thumb. The position of the thumb is surprisingly important, and without it being in the right place, you might not be able to get the fingers into the right place where you want them to be. It's particularly important you get the third finger onto its tip, otherwise it will mute the other strings on either side of it. If you think you've got the chord sounding correct, or if you've got a problem that you can't solve, try playing the notes one by one. This way you can find out which strings are correct and which ones need some attention, and then you can adjust your fingers accordingly. If you have particularly stubby fingers and you find it impossible to have your fingers in such a small space, there is an alternative way of fingering it, and that is this. Here we're placing the first finger across 3 strings. We do this by lying it down on its side so it straddles the 3 strings. Then you can place either the second or third finger on the third fret of the B string. So again, we covered the second fret of the G, B and E string with the first finger, and then placed the second or third finger in the third fret of the B string. This isn't really the recommended method, and this isn't that easy to do, but if you don't have any choice, it is an alternative. Wherever possible, stick with the recommended fingering.